This video covers the installation of the Recoup Pipe HEX and Pipe HEX RD models. This supports Section 3 and 4 of the installation manuals, which should be read in full before starting installation. Ensure the hot and cold water systems are installed to suit System A, B or C installation methods, as specified by M&E drawings or SAP calculations. System A supplies preheated water to the shower cold feed and the water heater. System B supplies preheated water to the shower cold feed only, and System C supplies preheated water to the water heater only. Refer to the installation manual for more information about the requirements of each layout. The water heater can be a combination boiler, cylinder with any heat source, including heat pumps, a heat interface unit, or a thermal store. But in all cases, the connected shower should incorporate thermostatic mixer control. The Recoup Pipe HEX is compatible with the Myra heat loop electric shower range. When connected to a Myra heat loop electric shower, the preheated water is supplied to the cold water connection on the electric shower. Review the Myra heat loop installation and user guide, and, for user safety, do not connect a Recoup WWHRS unit to any other electric shower. The Pipe HEX is supplied in two boxes. The long box contains the main pipe unit, and the small box contains the installation kit. Check for damage to the components as you familiarise yourself with them and their positioning within the installation. If damages occur during transport, do not fit the unit and return it to the merchant for replacement. To complete the installation, you will need some additional components that are not supplied within the boxes: 2 full-flow shut-off valves and a drain-off valve. Any concealed valves must be manufactured from corrosion-resistant materials such as CR brass. If you plan to run 22mm diameter pipework to and from the unit, then consider using 22mm valves to maintain the larger pipe diameter and reduce the pipe size as close to the unit as possible. Ensure the soil pipe connection for the wastewater outlet is low enough to allow for the overall installation height required, while at a suitable height to allow connection of the wastewater pipework from the shower. The centre-to-centre measurement between the wastewater inlet and outlet is 2,215mm for the Pipe HEX and 1,815mm for the reduced length RD model. Consider using this measurement and the overall installation height measurement to position the soil stack wastewater connection. The Pipe HEX box has a wall positioning template printed on the side. Carefully remove the template from the box. Position the template 118mm from the soil connection. Check the template is positioned vertically and secure it with masking tape. Mark and drill the bracket fixing positions into the wall. So for the regular Pipe HEX, the fixing centres are approximately 1,500mm, and for the Pipe HEX RD model, it's approximately 1,100mm. The Pipe HEX RD does not have a template on the box. Start 387mm above the centre of the soil waste connection. Mark and drill 2 holes in a straight vertical line, 1,100mm apart. Make sure this line is at least 118mm horizontally from the soil waste connection. Install the mounting bracket to the marked positions using suitable wall fixings. Timber battens may be required to provide additional fixing strength or to position the Pipe HEX to match the centre of the soil vent pipe from the wall. Remember that these bracket measurements are for installing the unit as close as possible to the soil pipe. If the Pipe HEX is to be installed at a distance from the soil pipe, then the bracket height measurements should increase to allow a 3% full gradient from the wastewater outlet to the soil pipe connection. At the top, the maximum recommended shower waste pipe length is 3 meters. This keeps heat loss to a minimum before entering the heat exchanger. The end connections of the pipe hex are the same, meaning it can be mounted either way up in the brackets before adding the end components. The cold mains inlet and the preheated outlet are both half-inch female BSP connections. Remove the red dust caps from these connections and connect the supplied Speedfit male couplers. Care should be taken to not cross-thread these connections. Installing these when the pipe hex is still in the box is easier and avoids unnecessary forces on the brackets and fixings. Tighten them by hand. They should not be tightened to a torque more than 3 Newton meters. With the mounting brackets in the open position and the cardboard end protectors still in place, lift the pipe hex into location, being careful not to drop or hit the unit on the floor or surroundings. Raise the unit approximately 300 millimeters extending past the top bracket and tighten the mounting bracket screws. Check the unit is vertical and adjust if necessary. This ensures consistent wastewater contact down the length of the heat exchanger. If removing the pipe hex to adjust the brackets, ensure it is laid down on a flat horizontal surface. Leaning the unit against the wall risks damage if it slips or falls. Once mounted, the waste inlet and outlet connections can be made. Only remove the cardboard protectors from the pipe hex once it is in its final position within the mounting brackets. Into the bottom of the heat exchanger unit, insert the rubber O-ring end of the coupling and then connect onto that the 90-degree coupling sleeve and reducer. The reducer can accept 43mm solvent weld or a 40mm push-fit waste pipe. If the pipe hex is mounted close to the soil pipe, you may need to loosen the bottom bracket to insert the waste pipe. Ensure that you support the weight of the pipe hex. Do not rely on the top bracket alone to support the weight. The Turbo Rotator has 2 50mm connections, one with an O-ring seal. Either connection can be inserted into the top of the pipe hex and rotated to best face the direction of the incoming shower waste. The O-ring seal needs to be on the bottom connection that goes into the unit and may need to be repositioned. Once positioned, glue the solvent weld cap to the top of the turbo rotator to seal the unit from the main drainage system. The wastewater inlet connection is made using a 43mm solvent weld waste pipe, glued directly into the turbo rotator. It is recommended to install pipe clips close to the unit to support the waste pipe connections, particularly when using longer lengths of waste pipe. With all Recoup wastewater heat recovery systems, the cold mains water flow must be in the opposite direction to the wastewater flow. The mains cold water connection is at the bottom of the pipe and the preheated water outlet at the top. You must only use 15mm copper pipe to connect into the Speedfit male couplers. The cold mains water pipe work must be installed with the full-bore shutoff valve and a drain-off valve. If using compression fittings, make sure to support the fittings when tightening to ensure the threaded connections into the pipe hex are not strained. If using soldered fittings, do not heat any pipework connected to the pipe hex. The preheated pipework must be installed with a full-bore shutoff valve, also not supplied. It is recommended to locate both shutoff valves close together in the installation space. As with the cold mains, always support compression fittings when tightening. All preheated pipework must be labelled to prevent future cross-connection of services. Recoup preheat supply tape is available for this. The pipe hex unit must not be insulated, and any sound insulation applied to the soil vent pipe must be kept separate to the pipe hex. This can be achieved by using a 9mm board placed between the pipe hex and the soil vent pipe insulation. Please ensure that this information is passed on to the person who is boxing in the installation. To help pass on this information, the middle section of the box template can be cut out and taped to the Pipe HEX body. The Pipe HEX and installation pipework should be pressure and drain tested before any boxing is fitted. The maximum test pressure for the Pipe HEX is 18 bar. If the system pipework requires testing above this, then the Pipe HEX must be isolated using the inlet and outlet full-bore isolation valves at 18 bar before further increasing the system pressure. Make sure that you release the increased pressure from the pipework before turning the valves back on again. Once fully tested, water can be introduced and the air purged from the wastewater heat recovery system. Ensure the SAP identifier label, supplied with the Pipe HEX, correctly identifies the serial or batch number and the system type as A, B, or C. Fix this label onto or near the water heater supplying the hot water to the shower and register the installation on our website. With every system type and every product type, the following key points must be observed. Follow the specified system configuration of A, B, or C. Failure to do so could mean the installation does not meet the requirements of SAP calculations. Install onto a mains pressurized system with the water heater able to accept preheated cold water. Connected showers must be thermostatic mixer showers with balanced pressure supplies or a Myra heat loop electric shower. Preheated water pipework must be appropriately labelled for its entire length and be no longer than 4.75 metres between the wastewater heat recovery system and the shower. Do not insulate the wastewater heat recovery system itself. Prevent wastewater heat recovery systems being heated above 25 degrees Celsius, both by external sources and ambient temperature. All units must be installed within the thermal envelope of the property. Ensure preheated pipework supplies the shower and/or water heater only. Ensure SAP label is applied onto or near the water heater and the installation is registered on our website. For any additional installation information or questions, please contact us.